All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we move ahead for the lunch, we have one more session to go. The topic is amazing, scaling up a family business. As we all know, all business face challenges, but family-owned business bring a unique set of added complexity to the business. Family business go through various stage of growth and development over time. Diversification in amusement park, water, spiritual theme park, Shirdi, Lonavala, recently taken over Imagica, real estate, construction and development. I would request him to please join me on stage. Can we have a huge, yeah. I would request our moderator, Mr. Kuldeep Sikarwar, to please join me on stage. If he is here, we'll wait for a few minutes. Yes, we'll wait. Well, everyone is out there to take some great pictures and selfies, of course. All right, I would once again love to give the introduction of Mr. Rajesh Malpani, CEO of Family Managed Malpani Group of Industry, took group to new orbit with infusion of modern technology and diversification in amusement park, water and spiritual theme park. To moderate this session, we have Mr. Kuldeep Sikarwar. I hope I've taken the name right. Principal partner, Edelweiss Private Wealth, more than 18 years of wealth management experience across Pune and Mumbai. Thank you so much for joining us today and looking forward for this great session. Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On behalf of Nuvama, I welcome all of you to this event. And thank you for taking off the time. And Nuvama is now, was earlier Edelweiss Wealth Management. Now we are Nuvama. Nuvama is a combination of Nu, which stands for new and fresh, and Vama, which means prosperity, which earlier speakers spoke about prosperity, and we hope prosperity as a blessing remains with all of us for the rest of our lives. Quickly, I think for a lot of business owners like you in the room, we have really created a special platform which not only allows us to advise you on the financial side of the asset, but even on the business side. So it's a truly unique platform that we have created, and we are very excited with the next 10 years of India, and we look forward to partnering with a lot of you to be able to advise you on your financial and operating assets. And it's also a privilege for me to introduce Mr. Rajesh Malpani today, Rajesh Bhai, as I fondly call him. And while Vivek told us not to multitask, but in the interest of time, I'll play this AV and also talk about Rajesh Bhai, as I fondly call him, and the Malpani Group. So I've had the privilege to know Rajesh Bhai for the last 15 years, and I have seen their journey, and you will see their various businesses coming up on screen. But I've seen their journey from operating a large volume. So operating a very large business, which is throwing up cash, using that cash to start new businesses, to scale up new businesses, to divest some of the large businesses, and again starting the cycle all over again. So Vivek spoke about this entire destruction and creation, and I think the Malpani Group under Rajesh Bhai has played this capital cycle very well. They have started new businesses and kept on scaling up the businesses. What I really want, Rajesh Bhai will be covering today, I think, and what all of us can take away are, his story of not only scaling up the qualities that he scaled up, but not only of scaling up businesses, but how to manage the family, how to face challenges and overcome challenges. But most importantly, I think I've been very inspired to see his journey of personal growth, daily improvement, and most importantly, of giving back to society. The Malpani Group have done a lot of things across various areas. They have recently acquired Imagica, a theme park near Bombay, and if you have not been there, I would encourage you, all of you, to spend a day. It's a very, it's a great place. And a true karma yogi is how I will describe Rajesh Bhai, having seen so many businesses, so many cycles, and I think we should all welcome him and learn from his wisdom. Rajesh Bhai, over to you.
Yeah, very happy afternoon to all of you. After this mesmerizing talk by Vivek sir on Shiv Shakti, it's going to be a bit tough to hear Malpani after Shiv Shakti, and that too in a pre-lunch session when everybody is looking forward to lunch. But I'm here to share some of our stories, and simultaneously, while sharing the story, I will be grateful to learn from all of you. I come from a small Tehsil place called Sangamner, where my family had started this business, and we'll be going through that journey. One half a minute introduction is, this is our school in Pune now. About the family business, most of you are from that background. So in India also, more than 90% businesses are family businesses. And I'm going to talk more about, rather than how to manage the family business, more on how to manage the business as a family, how to make it more inclusive kind of thing. Ours is again a small disclaimer here that it's a conservative business house. Right now, all the youngsters and first generation people are going for more like a valuation game, and we always created in creating value rather than just a valuation game. So we believe in stay longer and grow stronger kind of philosophy, where over 5 generations, we have gradually grown this business to this size. When I talk about how important it is to grow a family business, what my family is, हे विश्वची माझे घर, ज्ञानेश्वर माऊली ने बोला है, तो myself, me is always at the core, at the center. Vivek ji said that even we can't control 80% of yourself, but that is the only thing we can control. I don't know if anybody else has any other power to control others, anybody who can control his wife or any lady who can control her husband. Does anybody has that kind of power? Please raise the hand. Maybe next talk will be his talk here. So we can control only whatever control we have is on ourselves. So me is always at the center of the whole thing. But while talking of a group activity, me has to take all the responsibility, but while talking, it has to be last. So we'll talk about me in the last. But all other things like my family, my staff and worker, whoever comes in your contact in terms of your business. And as Mr. Desai was talking about inclusivity, how we can make it all inclusive up to the society and up to the last this thing. So on me we'll talk lots because we is always the most important factor in family business or in any kind of teamwork. The ego has to go, the me has to be at last if we want to have a long-term family business. So first, let's talk a little bit about the family. With all the experience we had in 1986, our third generation family, like my father, my uncles, they had a separation. And no separation in family is really very pleasant experience. So we also had some bitter experience in that whole partition event. But I decided to learn from it, and then I purposely went to maybe IIM, ISB, and attended a lot of sessions on family business. And there only this famous word of Ratanji Tata also came, that if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. So family business is all about walking together and how we can walk far and walk together by taking some small, careful steps, following some small rules. This is my family tree, like my great-grandfather J.B. Malpani, who moved from Rajasthan to a small place called Sangamner near Nasik. And he was working in one of the grocery shops, and there's some couple of bags of tobacco, spoiled wet tobacco was available. And he bought that in a rupee or so and converted that to snuff, and that's how that business of tobacco started. My grandfather took it forward. My father and my uncle, they really built that business. My father used to tell my mom कि अपनी गृह लक्ष्मी आई है शादी के समय तेरे स्वरूप में, तो 1 लाख का टर्नओवर फर्स्ट टाइम अपने ग्रुप का हुआ है. So that's how it started, from a very small thing. Then we 5 brothers are there, 2 real, 3 cousins, and next generation again 3 of us are there. My son Harsh is with me here, Yash and Jay. So this is a 5-generation journey that has been there. The most important thing that we got from our father is the last M. We all learn about these first 7 M's in various business schools: management, manpower, marketing, method, machine, material, money. But the most important M that we inherited from our senior generation was the moral, the ethics, the values. If any wheel has to rotate fast, ultimately the pivot has to be there, and it has to be, the core value is the most important. So values are the prime importance of all our journey through these 5 generations. My father, as I studied my chemical engineering in Nagpur, and then I went for my industrial engineering in Virginia Tech, all the time from in busy schedule, he used to write very nice letters, and all the letters were full of all moral values. And he never used to ask क्या खाने को ठीक मिलता है क्या, सब ठीक है क्या, but always used to inspire by various extract from some books or his own thoughts. So all his letter was of a great value to us, and we have published it and we have distributed. They are all in Marathi, so distributed in all JDP schools and other schools. And I keep getting a lot of letters from all of them. And these are various verticals. Our FMCG business, as I told, my great grandfather started it with a small bag, gunny bag. That 128 years back he started it. And in last few years that it has grown more. So real estate, renewable energy, park businesses, and there are some other small businesses. And definitely in this journey, we have also we tried and closed certain businesses because profitability was not as per expectation. We could not lower our standards or our ethics as our competitor did. So even while trying new businesses, it should be kept in mind that if you feel that it has to be shut, it has to be shut. There should be no ego, no prestige. लोग क्या बोलेंगे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे इसके बारे में. But whatever businesses then we did was, so first few rules of keeping the family together is, one is the communication, which is most important. जैसे एक वो विद्या बालन जी का फिल्म आया था डर्टी. There are 3 things which are necessary for any good film, and anybody will remembers it? Entertainment, and entertainment. Likewise, in family business or any kind of teamwork, there are 3 things to be kept in mind: communication, communication, and communication. This communication is the most important fundamental thing, because many times otherwise in a joint family, we hear something from outside, अरे ये मुझे मालूम ही नहीं था, ये बाहर से मालूम पड़ा, ये डिसीजन हमारा कब हुआ, ये that becomes a very small start of the dilemma. So right now, so many methods are there available for good communication. We have WhatsApp groups of brothers, all next generation also. There are regular meetings, presentations on plans, MIS reports, our next year's plan, whatever achievement we did, 360-degree feedback mechanism. All these things help in proper communication. A very good transparency, trust and togetherness, that is also very important in this joint family journey. Keeping group goal above the individual goal is also most important thing. Strong ties and improved synergy, always that gives that 1 + 1 is more than 2, that we see when we work together. diversification, different verticals that we went in, that each vertical has given a role to play to each individual brothers. So as per his own aspiration, the diversification field was chosen. So give a private space to each of them, but have some common rules, some ethical background of the whole rule book for doing any new business. Bringing professionalism is also equally important. Sometimes the family members are not as good as some good professionals that have grown along with in our business. So proper respect to that professionalism and delegation is equally important. And succession planning, which here Mr. Stroff and others are advising on, is also very important in all this long-term family business. If we lack communication, what is this 5 Ds of disaster happens. It starts with dilemma. कई बार dilemma होता है कि मैं कैसे पूछूं, कैसे बोलूं. He is my senior brother, he is my uncle, he has grown this business to this level. He is not doing this right, but how do I tell him? That's how the dilemma starts. And somewhere then we start compromising on what we feel. Then from dilemma, it goes to deviation, then to differences, to disputes, and finally, the destruction of age. That's why we see many times in a 3rd generation or maximum 4th generation, the family businesses, they break away. Why there is such a big importance of family business? If there are 2 brothers, we will just take this as an example, A and B. A grows, he doubles his business, becomes A square. B doubles his business, it becomes B square. Plus if we keep a bracket, A plus B together, and if they grow together, that gives A square plus B square plus 2AB. That plus 2B is real advantage of being together, working together. Otherwise A square and B square can happen always. But that being together is most important. If we see this in figures, easier to understand. If 1 is 6 and 1 is 4, 6 doubles his business becomes 36, 4 doubles his business becomes 16. So 6 square plus 4 square is 52. Plus but if we put a bracket to 6 and 4 and they work together, they grow together, that's a synergy, because each individual has his own different capability, ability to do the things, and together that synergy gives that plus 2AB advantage, and 52 becomes 100. The only care we should be taking is it has to be plus. If it's minus, then it's again destruction. So main thing is having that plus, having that kind of synergy within family members. And if it doesn't work, in spite of all the best efforts, then better to have 6 square plus 4 square separate instead of having minus. Because many times we see in many families, बाकी दुनिया भाड़ में जाए, लेकिन ये भाई का देख लूँगा वो कैसे आगे जाता है. And both brothers become busy in destructing each other, and that gives rise to 52 coming down to 4. And we have seen a lot of such families, and experts sitting here will be quoting a lot of such examples also. Some of the basic things that we followed in our family is, as I told you, ethics, or that 8M moral is the most important and strongest foundation that our group has grown on. We have also always believed in leveraging very cautiously. In our community, there was this saying which father used to say, "Dubega re teen jana, punji kam, vyapar ghana." You have a limited capital, but ये भी कर लूँगा, वो भी कर लूँगा, ये भी कर लूँगा. किसी दोस्त ने शेयर्स में कमाया है तो शेयर्स भी कमाल में वो भी करके देख लूँ. कोई सेशन में गया था, ये नया बिजनेस आइडिया मिला तो वो भी करके देख लूँ. Or somebody has bought land and the price has doubled in 2 years, so I must invest. And from your running business, you suck out this capital, and if you invest in non-productive or non-liquid assets like land, etc., many times we have seen a lot of builders and a lot of other communities getting into this vicious cycle of punji kam vyapar ghana, I come kharcha ghana. Many times some success comes, and as soon as the success comes, before that comes the lavish styles, because I am successful, all the brands, all the big things, all that. I still remember my father used to keep things so simple for us, and that has always kept a great value of everything. मैं नागपुर पढ़ने गया था, and I wrote to my father, मुझे अभी स्कूटर तो चाहिए, स्कूटर तो बनती है. So father wrote me, your hostel and college is in the same campus. Why do you need scooter? It will divert your focus. Better if you want to go around, buy a cycle right now. That time I felt very bad. एक scooter नहीं दे रहे पिताजी. But all that created a great value and for everything, and all that hardship also has really sculptured us, I will say. So, I come kharcha gana is another thing which many times take you down. And jor kam gussa gana, we have a limited power, but we feel that I am the ruler. With some small success, and if it goes to your head, it also can spoil the progress. So dubega re teen jana is a very famous saying which father always used to tell us. Then you need patience, steady and consistent, always wins the race. Many times in many diversifications we see failures, or we see many small things in the beginning, but some small steps can take us to a very big business. We also believe in starting with small step rather than borrowing heavily and doing some big activity to start with where we don't know. Each our diversification field, we started with small and then we scaled it up. I will give you examples of that. Anything that looks small in the beginning, like our windmill business, we started with a small windmill in Satara, but gradually there were a lot of issues in the beginning. But later on, the business has grown to an extent that I will share. And this rule also we followed, that all our family investments are joint investment, no individual investment, and everything with proper and full transparency. So our first vertical was the FMCG business, started by my great grandfather with tobacco. Then we diversified into tea, into mouth fresheners, into chocolates, into other things. Because of all that dealer network strength that we have, we introduced all other products in that network. So that FMCG vertical is our core and starting business. Then, as I told, we moved to this windmill, started with first windmill in Satara, and first 12 years it took us from, first windmill was only 350 kilowatt windmill, and from that to reach to 100 megawatt, it took almost 12 years. And then within 6 years, like a Chinese bamboo, we must be, we have read that examples, that you keep watering and you don't see much of progress, but suddenly it grows. So in 6 years, that grew from 100 megawatt to 600 megawatt. And again, then because of government policies and a lot of other things, then it became a bit stagnant. But this was our journey in windmill business. In scaling up this renewable business also, there were challenges like funding the business. All the projects are heavily capital intensive projects, and we had no great history. But with all good repayments of the first projects, gradually that goodwill with banks was built, and then all the banks were after us to take loan for the projects. Dealing with the various vendors which have weak financial conditions, we rather than decided not to deal with them, and because later on those projects are not short-term projects, they are, you have to run them for 25 years. So that kind of support that vendor should be able to provide. And a lot of changes happening in government policies. So we had to do a lot of representation and at times intervention also in the court. The whole journey of windmill started with Tulsi Bhai Tanti. Unfortunately, we lost him this 1st October only. for the first order, Tulsi Bhai had come to Sangamner for just a 350 megawatt small windmill, because it was a start of their journey also into windmill sector and our journey also in the same sector. Later on, he has taken that Suzlon to a new heights. But again, the loan, somebody was telling me Suzlon name was Sooj Booch ke loan lena was Suzlon, but later on with all the international acquisition, etc., that loan went to 18,000 crore extent. But later on again, he has brought it down to 2,800 crore, and with last issue that they were planning, it was come to, it will be coming to 1,800 crore. But I still remember his first visit to Sangamner in 2001, with which we started this journey. And as Bishop Shroff mentioned about his WWF renewable is one of the very good pillar in the whole this thing. With whatever renewable energy we have built, it is providing power to 2.5 lakh clean and green power to 2.5 lakh households. It's like 9.5 lakh tons of carbon dioxide emission was reduced, and it was like planting 8 crore trees, because that kind of equivalent carbon dioxide oxygen ratio was there. Then we started with a small water park in Shirdi. Shirdi is just 45 kilometers from our town. We saw a lot of visitors coming to Shirdi, and after darshan they had nothing else to do. So we made one small water park there in 2005. Again, this also started with a small thing, and with that success, after 10 years, learning all the rules of that game, we made a biggest water park in India in Lonavala by the name Wait and Joy, and then spiritual theme park by name Sai Tirth in Shirdi, and then our group's first amusement park in 2019, and just 2 months back we acquired Imagica. So gradually, as Sumit Ji Kabra was telling, that you have to be somewhere in top 3 when you get into any field. Now we can proudly say that in this amusement and water park area, we are top in India right now with all 7 parks, 2 in Shirdi, 2 in Lonavala, and 3 Imagicas park spread in 200 plus acres and employing more than 1,600 people. So this amusement park and Sai Tirth is first of its kind of spiritual theme park, where technology and mythology comes together. All the youngsters coming to Shirdi, they would not be knowing any history about Sai Baba. So telling about Sai Baba also, and overall Hindu mythology also, various temples, miniatures, etc. It's a worth visit if anybody visits to Shirdi. It will be worth place to visiting. If you go on TripAdvisor, we used to encourage feedback on TripAdvisor, and suddenly that Sai Tirth became first thing to do in Shirdi, and then we stopped that campaign, and then Sai Mandir again remained the first thing to do in Shirdi, and now Sai Tirth is on number 2. So then Imagica was our our latest acquisition. In that also there were a lot of challenges, local and political resistance. Each park, wherever we went and started, local politicians used to come, hire these people, take these people. If they don't have merit, they won't talk nicely to the visiting guest, but all those in any scaling up, those kind of things are there. So a lot of CSR activities for localites and proper communication with that segment also. This is the largest single location theme park, Imagica, and it was most complex because it was funded by some 8 odd different banks, and it was a long process, went on for 2 years, but with patience and this thing we could acquire that, and that has made this the whole vertical as a number 1. That was a ceremony which happened in BSc, the Bell ceremony. it's our first entry also into this listed space, and we'll be learning a lot of new things in the whole journey. In this construction business also, we started in a very small scale in Sangamner, then we went to Nasik, then to Pune, and then some projects in Bombay also, Bangalore. And recently we have built this M-Agile 16 lakh square foot building, which has been rented out totally. So a lot of commercial buildings which are in progress and will be on rentals. This is the next building coming up. In this journey, we also took, initially when I joined the business, immediately I took dealership of ITC, just for Sangamner town, just to learn how the corporate works. ITC was like one of the role model in that tobacco vertical and the FMCG vertical. So I used to report directly to the ITC manager who used to come and visit, and it was tremendous learning. Like more than books we learn from life is what was told. The same thing we experienced with all this. This didn't contribute much to the top line, bottom line, but definitely the learning from ITC, the learning from Reliance, the kind of pressure that Reliance keeps on you, kind of thin margins that they make you work. मेरे पास कोई डीलर अभी आता है और बताता है मार्जिन कम है आपका, तो मैं मेरे रिलायंस के सेल्समैन को बुलाता हूँ, अरे इनको रिलायंस का मार्जिन समझा, तो वो बाद में बोल के जाता है नहीं नहीं बहुत अच्छा मार्जिन है, लेट इट बी लाइक दैट. So all these businesses were for learning again from these businesses. So there will be this various verticals in each of our verticals, various specialization, and each brother has his own ability, and he can provide his specialization to respective verticals as needed. The next sphere in my family is staff and workers, which is most important in the, we many times read about this PPT model, people, process and technology. And in this also, people is the most important factor because they are the one who drive the process and technology. When I joined the business, the annual strike used to be a regular event because it was all labor intensive. More than 2,000 workers were working there. So every year we used to have strike. It was like an annual event. And then we, with a conscious efforts, we took it from lose-lose situation, because every time union used to think that management must suffer, and management used to think that we must keep them temporary, we must only have a contract workers, etc. But that 1988 strike, which was the last and longest strike for us, where both of us lost heavily, then we moved to communication spirit, and after 1988, there wasn't a single day closure in the journey of the group again. Because of that win-win and various small activities where we could involve head, hearts and hands, and several steps, several different things, training programs, Kaizen, 5S, all these things were done, and this is the asset now we have. Our group has 3,131 direct staff and workers, another 1,340 marketing team and other teams, and recently joined Imagica with 1,000 workers. We started with very small things to convert this lose-lose into win-win situation, like small camps. These are now 30-year-old photographs. All Lion Rotary clubs who want to have local camps, they could come to our factory. We had these mass marriage programs for our workers. When we used to see that each worker, when his daughter's or his son's marriage was there, he used to go on leave for a month. आज बैंड वाला ढूंढना है, वो आचार्य ढूंढना है, कहीं ये बुकिंग करना है, पत्रिका बनवाना है, बांटना है. So we had a common marriage program with 1 rupee registration. We used to provide all the facilities, and so far, and then it was extended to community also. We also saw that for each marriage, he used to borrow so heavily from local saukar that next 2 years earning used to go in only repayment of that borrowing. And with this 1 rupee contribution to the common marriage program, he never used to go on leave वो जाता था, उसके घर में शादी रहता था तो 100 और वर्कर भी उस दिन छुट्टी पे चले जाते थे. So there used to be a lot of absenteeism also. So it was a win-win situation for both of us. The productivity went up, their loan level went down. तो अभी तक 1100 लोगों का शादी ये सामुदायिक विवाह में हो गया है. Each marriage, even if it saves 1 lakh rupees, you can multiply 1100 by 1 lakh, and that's a kind of saving it has given. And we used to have it common for all, Hindu, Muslim, their priest used to come and they used to take it with Christian, Buddha. Even their next generation, they're like their kids, we take them with our school bus only to nearby parks. So they also feel that kind of attachment with the group. Their involvement, various programs like Ganesh Festival we started, they used to do a lot of lazim and dances. So all those Murdabad जो चलता था 1988 तक, management Murdabad, that got converted into Moria, Ganpati Bappa Moria. It's all about how you channelize. How do we channelize? So many cultural programs were started for them. A small training program on safety, on AIDS, on health, their training, their picnics, a Grahak Bhandar with no loss, no profit, where we buy in bulk and sell it in retail without any cashless transaction, so that from his monthly salary it gets deducted. Otherwise, he used to go to local kirana shop और बाद में पैसा लाके दूंगा बोला तो kirana shop used to charge him minimum 25% higher. But with this wholesale buying and without no profit, no loss kind of structure, that Grahak Bhandar has saved lakhs of rupees to the workers. They used to also borrow very heavily from local funding agents, Saukar. They used to like borrow 1,000 rupees and used to every week pay 100 rupees, 1,100 rupees. We worked out the interest rate that used to be 40% plus interest for them. So we started these societies for them, where our workers' society has now 948. Only Sangamner has this facility. So local Sangamner workers have this society. Their share capital, which is their small monthly contribution going to society, is now 4.34 crores. Loan they have given is 4.25 crores and at a 9% rate. And those who have their own share capital, they get that 8.5% as an interest. So they get better interest than bank and they get loan at much lesser rate even than banks. साहूकार से तो बहुत कम है, तो staff and workers का मिलके करीब 11 crores loan have been distributed to this. Though this amount is small for us, but for their own needs and the emergency needs, that's quite heavy. We also started education schemes, etc. One of our staff's son, he became pilot. One of workers, one son and one daughter, both became chartered accountant with this education scheme, where once they get their job, then they have to repay for that. So education loan has helped to a lot of staff and workers to fulfill dreams for their kids. Then comes customer, supplier and bankers, our next sphere in our family. So wherever there was any problem with our dealers, there was a fire, the hawker lost something in accident, everywhere we tried to help them and see how we can reach to, because that small, कभी कहीं बारिश में कोल्हापुर में 400 पान टपरियों में पानी घुस गया and everything was lost. Nobody was not a local shop was not giving them anything on loan because everything was lost. They had no capital there. So we gave them things with MRP of 5,000 rupees initially without anything. And it was given to 400 such shops. The kind of bondage that has happened because of such small things that has been done has gone long way. Now, even any competitor comes to them, he won't entertain them because when he needed, we were there for him. Same things about the farmers, how we can associate the local universities, research with farmer, in need of farmer, how the business can be made more transparent. Many times we used to send payment but the broker used to say अभी पैसा आया नहीं कब मिलेगा. So small SMS system, the moment we send the payment, the farmer receives the SMS and he goes to broker, अरे मेरा payment आ गया, लाना मेरा payment. So such lot of small technological things also have helped in building the tie-up with farmers. And obviously bankers, because even with bankers, many times we see a lot of people, they just borrow with the intention not to repay, and we have seen them running also away from India. But the kind of trust the banks have developed over the years for any kind of businesses, whenever we needed funds, it was readily available. And last is the society. We always believed in Pura, the mantra that Dr. Abdul Kalam has given, provide urban facilities in rural area. Many times I am asked that you have come from America with such a high education, double graduation, and how come you settled in a small town called Sangamner, which nobody knows. It's a small town. But we decided this is our Karma Bhumi, Janma Bhumi, we'll make it as a Karma Bhumi. And we tried to provide all the urban facilities there. The school that has been built, Sangamner, is one of the best rural schools in India. Last month only, out of 10 gold medals that were awarded in Khelo India competition at all India level in yoga, 7 were conquered by Dhruva Sangamner alone. 70% gold medal by one school in India. And lot of such, in 1 year alone, they have been. We started again from Sangamner and then we moved to Pune, first school in Pune, second school in Pune. So that activity also. These are the medals in 2018 that Dhruva Sangamner alone got. A lot of other local educational institutions were also supported heavily. School, college, a naturopathy college. I used to go to Jindal every year for naturopathy treatment and thought that we should have similar kind of facility in Sangamner also. And we created a mini Jindal in Sangamner where all the treatments that are available in Jindal are available at a very 1/10 kind of cost to local people there. So education and health were the two areas where we worked on. Sanskar Bal Bhavan for providing good values to kids, a local club, health club, a palace to have marriages, etc. Because I remember my sister's marriage, we had to do in a local college. टीन के पतरे लगा के वहाँ पे बाथरूम बनवाने पड़े थे because there was no facility in Sangamner. And then we created this facility. अभी नासिक से औरंगाबाद से लोग संगमनेर आके शादियाँ करने लगे वहाँ पे. Because destination wedding is catching up, so people are coming there. So all these facilities were created in a small town, a nice gym, big lawn, a hospital where all the OPD services are offered at in 10 rupees by MD doctor, and all the operations are done with all kind of government schemes free of cost or at a very nominal rate. Yoga, we taught yoga into all local ZP school, and when Ramdev Babaji came to Sangamner, there was a demo of 14,000 students on one ground in tricolor India, and he got so fascinated that immediately on stage also, Baba is known for his yoga, and he did fantastic acrobats on stage. And many small, like in COVID, for all local hospitals, and that we tried to do it for our for Ram Mandir and this thing for Vedashri Tapovan. So for our community widow, we keep sending 1,000 rupees per month to support them. For our local students, there was earn and learn scheme for our college, that nobody should miss his learning just for money. So he has to earn and learn, and that kind of education with value of earning has created. नहीं तो कई बार वो डिग्री मिलने के बाद खेती में काम करने को उसको अच्छा नहीं लगता है. But with earn and learn scheme, those students, about 600 students are on this earn and learn scheme, where per hour working they get some 50 rupees for that per hour working, and that has generated value for money and value for work. Otherwise वो डिग्री के बाद कोई भी छोटा काम करने को तैयार नहीं है. This is a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan we did. There was a rule that we had to seal all our machines because there was excess production. So we took all the workers to the town rather than keeping them home and paying them 50% salary. We decided let them work full time and we also worked with them, cleaned the whole town, collected about 110. That was Prime Minister Modi's mission given at that time, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. And then we distributed dustbins and Nirmalya Kalash and all these things. And lastly, the principle that I follow is perfection is not a destination. It is definitely a continuous journey that never ends. And every occasion is a learning occasion. So we have to keep sharpening ourselves, and we all are here for that only. When we have to run, we have to run if we have to be ahead. So this good to better and better to best journey is a continuous journey that goes on. And I'm grateful that Kuldeep ji and team has given me this opportunity to share this story with all of you so that I can also get a lot of learning opportunity. And as it was told that learning, relearning, both are important. Alvin Toffler had said in the illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. So no success is permanent learning. It has to be always learning, unlearning and relearning, because things are become so dynamic, they are changing so fast, and always focus on possibilities rather than problems in creating. So we have to keep sharpening ourselves. Whenever the mobile gets hanged, what we normally do? Switch off and switch off. So sometimes we have to switch off from our daily routine, and if it doesn't still restart, then sometimes we have to really open the mobile, take out the battery and connect it again. So disconnect and reconnect, both are equally important for us also, and that's why I also keep attending various sessions, may it be Vipassana, may it be Mahatraya Ras session, Sadhguru Ji ki Vasudev session, Swami Govind Dev Giri, Swami Sukhobodanand, Osho. I keep reading, learning, because in this whole journey, neither birth is in our hand, nor death is in our hand. B and D both are not in our hand. But in between B and C, that B and D, that C is important, that how do we choose, what choice we make, and what change we keep making. As Darwin's theory was told by Vivek ji, that in survival, only those who will constantly keep changing, depending on not your core values, but about the other things, if we keep changing, then only we can survive. So that is also equally important in any situation. How do you choose to react, given the option, what choice we make, and how do we constantly bring this change to upgrade ourselves. That is important. And obviously, comfort zone breaking, connect, communicate, celebrate, as it was told by Desai ji also, that celebration, our culture is of celebration. Every small things we celebrate with so many different occasions. Now big celebration of Diwali is also coming. So in business also, whatever small things we achieve, if we keep celebrating, that culture goes on. And contribution, as I explained. And this is my most favorite doha. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई. जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे को होए. हम भी सब सुख में यहाँ आए हैं कुछ सुमिरन करने, कुछ नया लर्निंग करने, क्योंकि ऐसे ही समय हो सकता है जो भी फैमिली चार्टर बनाना है, फैमिली प्लानिंग सेट करना है फैमिली बिजनेस के लिए, तो सुख में हो सकता है. जब कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता है कोई ये, तो वो नहीं हो सकता है. तो अच्छे समय ये सुमिरन करे. So we have also now engaged agencies to put our family chartered and these things in place, rules of family, because if this game we have to enjoy and we have to go long run, that those rules are most important. Or ye sukh mein sumiran is also important. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Sure. questions.
थैंक यू मालपानी साहब, बहुत ही अमेजिंग टॉक आपने दिया, अपना अनुभव शेयर किया. स्पेशली जो इक्वेशन यू शेयर्ड विथ अस, a+b², इट वाज अ फैबुलस इक्वेशन, वी कुड ऑल रिलेट टू इट, आई एम वेरी श्योर. एक सवाल है मेरे आपसे कि आपने जिक्र किया बिकॉज 5th जनरेशन बिजनेस, फैमिली बिजनेस इज अ रियलिटी. आई थिंक 2nd 3rd जनरेशन होते होते खलास हो जाते हैं, तो 5th यू आर अ यूनिक एग्जाम्पल टू ऑल ऑफ अस. सो जो आपने एक वर्ड किया कि ईगो का कैसे मैनेजमेंट करते हैं, सो प्रैक्टिकली इफ यू कैन गिव सम, कैसे आप करते हो, इफ यू कैन शेयर दैट, इट वुड बी ऑफ इंटरेस्ट टू ऑल ऑफ अस. इसका एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट बता रहा हूं मैं. मेरे खुद के अंकल हैं एंड ही हैड अ बिग लिस्टेड कंपनी एंड द 2 भाइयों की लड़ाई में पूरा सत्यानाश हो गया. सो इफ यू कैन प्लीज शेयर विथ अस, इट वुड बी ऑफ इंटरेस्ट टू अस.
Hello. For this only we keep going to various sessions and learn lot of things there, how to keep the ego apart. मुझे याद है, I have done lot of automation. When I joined the business, there was not a single machine in our factory. So I did with my engineering background, it helped me to automate the total business a lot. एक बार कोई ड्रायर लेने की बात हुई, so my cousin told me, hey, we should never buy this because it will affect the quality, and quality we should never compromise on. Some staff was there and he said, no, previously भी एक machine fail हो गया था, ये लेना ही नहीं. I just kept quiet. Then I went to office, I drafted a mail after few hours that these are the experiments we did, this is where we succeeded and this is where we failed. But experiment नहीं करते, पानी में नहीं उतरते. But that gap was important. Otherwise, if I would have insulted him there itself, कि नहीं तुझे क्या समझता है, मैं engineer. That ego we have to keep aside and we have to wait for our reaction. So that proactive rather than being reactive. If we remain proactive everywhere, and that Stephen Covey's one of the 7 principles he has taught is be proactive. So wherever possible, if we, the value of that 2AB is so high. And once I remember there was dacoity in our at our house, and we were literally hammered by iron rods by those dacoities. पुलिस तो जैसे हर पिक्चर में आती है वैसे लेट आ गई, लेकिन उसके पहले हमारे कजिन भाई वहाँ पे आ गए, गाड़ी से दरवाजा तोड़ के अंदर आ गए. द मोमेंट माय डॉटर कॉल्ड हिम दैट डकैती आ गई और राजेश को और संजय को दोनों को बहुत ज़्यादा मारा है. They came and those dacoities ran away. I mean the kind of they never bothered कि पुलिस नहीं है, हम कैसे अंदर घुसे, कितने लोग होंगे, हमको क्या होगा. They just came inside and we saved. So this extended life is also because of the joint family. Once we understand these values, वो ego कैसे dissolve हो जाता है मालूम भी नहीं पड़ता है सर.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Rajesh bhai, thank you so much. I think it was a very engaging speech and आपने जो अपने experiences share करे. Malpani Group has had an amazing journey over the last 30-40 years, and you've achieved so much. How do you see the vision for the group next 20-30 years? आपका अभी क्या vision है for the group, and how do you see this business and the family moving forward?
इतना लंबा का प्लानिंग तो 25-30 साल का बहुत अभी कॉन्क्रीट नहीं है हाथ में, बट आई कैन से दैट वॉट एवर 3-4 वर्टिकल्स वी आर वर्किंग ऑन, FMCG, how to add more products to our distribution chain and how to grow the chain to neighboring states. Then in amusement and this park, we have bought a land in Ahmedabad and in Indore, and we'll be coming up with parks there also, and gradually to more cities. हम लोग कई बार ये सब अच्छे इंटरनेशनल लेवल के पार्क यदि इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो जाए एट अफोर्डेबल प्राइस, दैट इज द बेस्ट काइंड ऑफ आउटिंग फॉर ऑल द यंग जनरेशन. Renewable energy, we are a bit skeptical because most of the EPC contractors have gone into trouble in the recent times and are unable to support it properly, and even most of the discoms, 2 दिन पहले ही न्यूज़ था कि 50,000 का लॉस हर साल डिस्कॉम्स को हो रहा है. तो the payments of discom we are not getting for 2 years, some places not, and they never pay interest and nothing is paid on that. So that business, and we may not become top 3 anyways, so we may demonetize that particular vertical. So on different verticals, and simultaneously we are also working on this family office PE funding and other things also, because next generation is from 5, it will be only 3 of us, 3 of the next generation kids, but with professionals and other things, it will grow. It will keep.
I have one more question, Rajesh bhai. I have interacted with one of your next generations, Jay, and very prolific. So anything specific, and very, I must compliment, and to the group also I would like to share, very humble, very grounded, and I think जो कहते हैं कि एक upbringing बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी हुई है. How are you grooming the next generation for taking over? Because these are large businesses and very big legacy you have created. How are you grooming them?
सबसे बड़ा grooming है, we have to walk our talk. We have to walk our talk first. यदि जैसे हम लोग पापा के पास देख के हर चीज सीखे, he used to be so punctual. Everything he used to say, he used to do first and then say. So that is most important. मैं घर पे ही कुछ लेके आऊँ और नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को बोलूँ यार पीना खराब है, मैं कुछ करूँ और उनको बोलूँ कि ये ठीक नहीं है, तो वो सिर्फ वर्ड्स रहेंगे. So first thing is we have to set the example with our own walk to the next generation. And second thing is, now there are so many things, best possible educations available, the educations which are, I was so impressed again when we learned about कि 5 साल में आपकी क्रिएटिविटी इतनी. हमारा स्कूल का फंडामेंटल, my younger brother has done his doctorate in child development, and he has kept this principle कि जो जिसमें एक्सपर्ट है उसमें वो बच्चे को यदि स्कोप देते हैं. कोई बच्चा सिंगिंग में एक्सपर्ट है, उस 2-2 घंटा सिंगिंग का उसका रोज रियाज चल रहा है, and he is scoring 85-90% because his singing is nurtured. तो जिसमें जो बच्चा, नहीं तो बाकी कई स्कूल में अरे ये टाइम वेस्ट है, फोकस ऑन स्टडी, फोकस ऑन स्टडी, फोकस ऑन स्टडी, वो भी नहीं होता, ये भी नहीं होता है. बट जॉयफुली इफ ही स्टडीज, ही द सेम वे द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, इफ जॉयफुली they are able to contribute to whatever their lacking vertical is there. So we have given them choice, whichever vertical you want to get into, and mold yourself into that. You are free to that. If you want to start something on your own also, you are free to do that. And simultaneously एक भाई का बेटा यहाँ के SP जैन में family business किया. Harsh is right now doing it from ISB. And he is also getting new ideas of bringing family. कपिल जी को संगमनेर भी एक बार उन्होंने बुलाया था, तो we could learn lot of things from him. So learning this networking is also equally valuable and important for this feedback.
Sorry, I have a question. So I was going through your slides. More than the wealth you generated through your business for everyone, what amazed me is the kind of work you've done for the social well-being. Jitne school, hospitals, all those pensions and all these things. Then I also looked at your family history, family chain with all the 5 generations showing. Now I'm curious to know, all such good work done over 5 generations, is impossible that it was done without the women in family business being involved. So I just want you to talk about some bits about how the women in your family have kind of held it up together, and any lessons, any tips that you'd like to give to other family businesses.
Yeah. They are involved in a lot of social activities. My mother has done books for Maheshwari Samaj, my Rajasthani Tiwar Bharat ki kahaniyan tata geet, which is popular all over India and exported also to a lot of Maheshwari communities. My auntie is doing, she is very good in Gita and this thing. So my younger brother has started learngita.com website, and right now about 5 lakh people from 130 countries are learning Gita, where my auntie, she has her Gita recording is being followed as a teaching this thing. About 4,000 volunteers are working on that learngita.com. Nobody knows each other, all free contribution by everybody. So lot of such social activities. She is also principal to our local school, not principal, chairman to our local school. Sanjay is chairman of a local college where 9,000 students are being nurtured and molded to face the world. So lot of such activities are being also done by ladies now. So.
We'll take one last question.
छोटा सा शेयरिंग जब तक माइक पहुंच रहा है तब तक एक स्वामी सुखबोधानंद के शिविर का करना चाहूँगा. One of my son is a special child, and me and my wife, we were so much under pressure and depressed when we came to know about that. We went to Swamiji, Swamiji's Shibir. We were told by one of them that to come out of depression, you better attend one of his program. In Vashi only we had come. And when Sangeeta shared this, why this with me? Swamiji took a paper and drew a small black dot and asked everybody, क्या देख रहे हैं, क्या दिख रहा है? And everybody said, we can clearly see that black spot. And Swamiji said, I am showing you the paper which has 99% white and only 1% black. And why everybody is seeing only black dot and not 99%? And then he started asking my wife, Sangeeta, कि आपका in-laws कैसे है, आपका husband कैसे है, do you have enough money to take care of kid? सब कुछ yes, yes, everything is good, but why this with me, Swamiji? So if you focus on that, you must have seen that exercise, that if you focus on a black spot, it goes on increasing, and if you focus on white, that black spot automatically goes down. So that attitude of gratitude, I have read it, I had read it many times, but when it really comes through such experience, it sinks, and since then I have never complained. It's always now attitude of gratitude. Just a small sharing till the next person.
Hello sir, my name is Hitarth Nathwani. I am the third generation into our business. We are into edible oils, and my question to you is, what is the pathway or challenges for a family-owned businesses transform from family-driven to professionally-driven business? And is it necessary, like, to a follow-up question for that?
It is necessary if you want to grow beyond certain extent. The professional, because family members can manage up to only certain extent. So definitely you can bring expertise, give them proper remuneration, proper value, proper respect. Because I also worked under some of our senior staff when I joined the business. उनको सबको हम भी अंकल बोल के बात करते थे, and we used to learn from them, and that's how we were molded in the business. Besides senior generation, so we have to give scope to those professionals, and we have to delegate. वो टाइम मैनेजमेंट का बहुत अच्छा अर्जेंट इम्पोर्टेंट का जो स्टीफन कोवी ने बताया है कि if you list whatever you are doing in a day's work, lot of things you will find that this I can delegate, this I can delegate, this I can delegate. And if you create professional team for that, you can focus on higher areas than what you are doing right now. So yes, bringing professionalism and bringing expertise in the family business is equally important. You have to give them that value. वहाँ उसका सेठ बन के नहीं रहना है, उसका दोस्त बन के रहना है, बस इतना ही ध्यान रखें.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we have a huge round of applause,
Thank
please?
you so much. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, sir, hearing from you. Thank you so much for taking out some time and joining us today. We would like to felicitate you. A token of love, token of appreciation for sharing this insightful overview with us. Thank you.